Welcome back, everyone. I'm Setharoth, and today we are diving into the last of the Mage archetypes for the Triumvirate spell mod. At first, I set up this character with Elven armor, and then I realized it's called the Shaman. Of course, we're going with the Forsworn and the Antlers and the Spirits of the Earth, because that is what this mod is all about. So, we're going to start with the Conjuration spells. The first of which can be purchased from Bolar in Narzlbur, which I believe is in Solstheim. Next in Mogeny from Frostmoon Crag. Nura Snowshod in Riften, finally one I recognize. Right over there. And then last but not least, Morkagzur. And that one doesn't actually have a city. So, not a whole lot to go on those conjuration vendors. You'll want to start off in Riften then, going for Nura Snowshod. But the spells, despite having to travel a good distance, are easily worth the effort. Because, first off, we have the Water Totem. This will heal you by 8 points of health and magicka per second, while also curing disease. So let's go in with our spell and swords and light armor and give this baby a little test drive. Now, if you're familiar with World of Warcraft, the idea of the Shaman is that they create a totem that within a short distance gives you certain effects, right? So you don't want to get too far away from the totem or life is going to suck. And, well, this might help if I fix my display. Turned this down earlier so I could catch some details. There we go. Alright. So as you can see, I've got some regen going, courtesy of the totem, which actually has health, so the enemies can destroy it if you are not careful. But while the totem is in range, I get both health and magicka restored, and it cures disease. Obviously the disease might not help you so much in combat, but it is a very helpful... I had a test that I was doing with this class, and I was fighting vampires, and I kept getting infected, and I didn't want to go all the way back to town to try and get that taken care of. And I guess I was done demonstrating that totem now anyway. Anyway, so that is a novice level totem, and my character obviously is not novice level for everything else, but that does give you regen, and that affects you. And it doesn't specify actually whether the water totem affects you or your allies. So keep that in mind when you're first testing it out. Definitely works on you. Not sure about your follower because it just literally doesn't say so in the description. But it does provide an easy way to cure disease, and the regeneration is great as long as you don't bite off more than you can chew. Next we have the Tree Totem, which deals 10 points of poison damage per second to nearby enemies in combat. So, this won't give us a whole lot of healing, but it will give us quite a bit of damage. So ideally you would want to drop this totem near a choke point, so you can get the bad guys all locked down in one location. So we're going to try to drop it right here, and the guys that come up these stairs will then have to deal with the... Oh, I already heard somebody die. Oh, maybe not. Alright, well, you can see the poison working. There's, he's already half dead. I haven't even had to lift my sword. Unfortunately, it doesn't. The totem doesn't do much for healing, but at the same time, it does 10 poison damage per round, per second. We'll see if we can get to some cover without dying. All right. Now we've got some quiet place. Might as well give this water totem another test to see how quickly we heal. There we go. Much better. All right. Anyone gonna make it in to give me some trouble? I'm regenerating now. Haha. There, you're down. Okay. So one of the nice things about these totems is you can take a specific location, like a choke point, right, at the end of a doorway, and turn it into a bastion of defense where you can regenerate your health, your stamina. And then once you've got your health back, you can switch out the other totem, boom, and now anything that comes through has to deal with poison damage every round. I've been playing way too much D&D. I can't get into the second-by-second playthrough. My brain is already locked in on D&D. The hard part, of course, with the totems is when you're dealing with melee or spellcaster types, they like to back up to get range Although I do notice that the AI is actually smart enough to attack the totems. So you could almost use the totems to tank after a certain, or at least as a distraction. I don't know if they have enough juice in them to take a lot of hits. But see right there, I can lure her close enough to the... Okay, that guy's doing a lot of damage. We're just going to head over here and finish you off. That poison was already doing its work. If I can finish you before your friend comes. There we go. Alright. Alright, so I think for this last guy, so once you're down to just one opponent, you can drop the water totem nearby. There, now that once you got your regen going. Boom shakalaka. So the idea of the shaman is you keep dropping different totems depending on what the need is for that situation. So depending on what kind of a follower you're running with, or what kind of other conjurations you're using. These do count as conjurations though. So you would need like the Twin Souls perk before you could drop like a Dremora alongside a totem. So you can keep that in mind. There are limits. Alright, next we are going to summon the Wind Fylgja. I think. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Some of these are fun. Anyway, this one lasts for 120 seconds. However, it costs magicka to maintain, and it costs magicka to use special abilities. So you got to be judicious with how you use your resources. But this is what it does. You are now a spirit of nature, in this case of ice. Let's find some poor hapless soul. Yep, boom. So watch my magicka. When I use a special ability... Oh, okay. There we go. So every like 10 seconds you can do this ice howl, but it costs magicka to use it, and you're obviously using magicka to maintain the spell as well. So you gotta be judicious. Now, this is an interesting thing though. When the spell gets interrupted, or if you try to move your character out of combat, that will also cancel the spell. But notice, I'm not in combat. This is effectively bombing the enemy camp without triggering combat and having all of them coming after you personally. So this is one of the only spells that allows you to dispatch opponents without actually putting yourself in danger. The downside of that is your character still exists in real time, right? So let me see if I can, I'm going to give this, hopefully this doesn't break the game. I've never manipulated the camera like this before. But if we go with free camera mode and sit back, see, there you go. So that your character still exists in this world as you run off to do your craziness. So if you don't pay attention and a patrol's on the way of vampires or undead or draugrs or whatever they may be, if you're not paying attention, your guy could actually die, literally die, and you wouldn't even know what killed him. So I like that it gives you that balance. I haven't tried this alongside a follower though, so I don't know if your follower would go in with your summon or if your follower would stay with your body. I'm not even sure which I would prefer. I think I'd prefer the follower stay with my body just to keep me safe, because you never know what's going to spawn in, especially with some of the crazy mods that I use. Knowing my luck, I'd be off killing bad guys and then a dragon assault would kick in and be like, oh, well, that's not good. My stationary body that can't defend itself. Alright, next. This is the last of the totems. This is called the Earth Totem. It lasts for 60 seconds. It does a lot of damage. Every 7 seconds it unleashes a tremor. So the trick part with this guy is you've got to survive 7 seconds, and I may have actually forgotten to... Oh, geez. Okay, we're going to have to... I forgot that I had not reset. So we're going to drop this totem right here next to this hapless foe. Oh, yes. Let's just keep you all nice and close. It takes 7 seconds for this totem to do its... There we go. Yep. So every second, that's going to be a shockwave. And that shockwave's got a decent amount of range. Like, ooh, yeah, at least 100 feet, but not quite enough to hit that archer over there. So this is definitely more designed for clearing out melee opponents. These ranged guys that'll sit back on the other side of the camp and take you apart. It's not going to help that much. But if you want to do traps, if you want to ambush a group, if you know that a ton of draugrs are going to wake up in this certain location, it is a great way to deal with them. Oh, is that guy already dead? Yeah, he got too close to the shockwave. So when you're in combat, every 7 seconds, this puppy's going to go boom, and it's going to hurt. Highly recommend combining this with Alteration's earth magic spells, because I mean Alteration has like spikes of earth that come out of the ground, earthquakes that can stagger opponents. You can literally bury an NPC in the earth and unbury them later. So if you want to be an earth mage, whipping out a totem like this, I could see that happening. Yeah, so that's about it for that totem. If you don't need any regen and you're not worried about poisoning them, Earth Totem has got your back. Huge shockwave damage. Very nice. Alright, the last of the conjuration spells is the Sun Fylgia. Fylgja? I don't know. Okay, Sun Thing. We're launching the Sun Thing. We'll see how this goes. Alright, as you can see, it costs a lot more magicka. And off we go. So this is similar to the Wind Fylgja. As you can see, if they are close, if they're within the swirly, fiery air thing, they take damage. It sets them on fire. You can use... Oh, geez. Okay, so that used maybe 20% of my magicka to use that. But as you can see, it did a lot more damage than my ice form. And once you either die, quote-unquote, or you're out of magicka, you cycle back to your character. At which point, of course, you then use the water totem to regenerate your magicka faster. And there you go. And then you just reload for the next assault. And again, notice, I didn't enter combat. Me, my person, my character did not enter combat. That little guard up there is just still walking the battlements, just like nothing's happened. Like, oh look, you know, we killed it. We dealt with the big flaming fire thing that took out half our buddies. We're good. I can relax now. Little does he know. Round number 2. Of course, by this time I've only got half my magicka left, and you use up your magicka as you... it costs magicka every second to maintain this spell, so you can't keep it up indefinitely.
Now, if this is a
but for burst attacks... There we go. Yeah, so keep in mind, with that form, you're not going to be using... We're accustomed to going into like werewolf form, right? And you can just stab, right? That's kind of the basic thing in most things. No, with those forms, you have 2 spells that you can use with either attack button, right? And they're both obviously fire or ice based, depending on what element is accompanying your summon. But it is not one of those where you just run in and do a lot of bites. You're going to run in, do area of effect damage, and then blow the crap out of some poor hapless soul. So that's it for the conjuration spells. Next we're going to dive into the alteration spells, which again, maybe I just need to play more orcs or something. I don't know where some of these towns are. I've never come across them in some of my playthroughs. So for the alteration spells of the shaman, let's start with the one I recognize so that everyone knows, at least has one location they can go. So for alteration shaman spells, you'll want to hit Windhelm and Jorah. Her name, I don't know. The character's name is Jorah. You can buy the following alteration spells from Jorah in Windhelm. The next is Baldur Iron Shaper in Skull Village. That's Skull with 2 A's. I assume that's in Solstheim. And then Murbal in Dushnik-Yal, which I believe is an orc camp. And then Sharamph in Morkazgur, which sounds like another orc camp. But as you can see, I'm not in a demo where I can actually... Like, most of these Triumvirate ones are based out of the holds, right, to make them easier to find. But I guess for shamanistic stuff, the modder decided to put most of them, like, not all of them. You can still go right to Windhelm and get your conjuration and your alteration spells and be fine. Let me just double check that. No, Riften. Right. Okay, so the conjuration ones are in Riften. I gotta double check my notes here, make sure I'm not giving you guys bad intel. And the alteration ones are in Windhelm. If you're starting with a vanilla playthrough. If you have access to Orc Strongholds or Solstheim, then there are locations there as well, where you can get the following spells. That being said, let's dive into it. Alright, let's see, I believe I just reset, so we should have new victims. Yes, okay, so our first one is Eye of the Allmaker. This lasts for 30 seconds. It will cost 2 magicka per second, and I believe you have to actually aim it at your feet. There we go. So this is a stationary camera. I can go up and down, but I cannot look left or right. So this is designed to give you a bird's eye view of whatever location you're trying to scout out. So in my case, from here, I can scout out, I see I've got 4 archers walking the battlements, 1 on either side. Can't really tell if there's anyone. Oh no, there's one more over by the blacksmith. So this is a good scouting mechanism to figure out what you're getting into, at least the number of guards that are on the top level of whatever facility you're trying to scout out. I don't think this would even work indoors. It certainly wouldn't work well. Maybe with a larger dungeon, maybe you could try this in Blackreach. That has a high enough area that might actually work. But I do like the idea of the shaman's spirit, leaving the body and just scouting ahead on what's going on while these poor halfless guys don't even know what's coming. Next, we have Staff of Ferocity. Enchant your power attacks for 60 seconds. Reduces armor by 150 points and reduces their magic resist by 25%. So this is actually a buff that you bestow upon yourself that lasts for 60 seconds, right? Whoever you hit with a power attack loses armor and magic resist. So obviously, if you're going for more of a melee attack, let me see if I can get a good power attack lined up on this guy. Oh wow, that's Wildcat for you. He interrupted it. Jeez. Wildcat makes this hard. There we go. Alright, so as you can see, he lost armor, he lost magic resist. If you have a follower with you or a summon that does the magic damage... Oh, actually, now that I think about it... Let's see, if we get over here, where most of the archers can't reach me, and I've got my power attack upgrading spell on, which means this guy has less armor, but I can't take them all at the same time. Alright. So, that being said, I should probably turn on immortality mode just to make this a little bit easier. Alright, so that will enchant your power attacks so that when you hit the bad guy, he loses armor and magic resist. So depending on what kind of a follower you're running or what kind of conjuration is following you into battle, that could be very helpful, and especially if you only got one boss to worry about, right? If the dragon piece shows up and you can cut down his armor and his magic resist, then your buddies can just wail on him, so more power to you. Next one is Fissure. Okay, how should we do this? Alright, so we're going to combine Water Totem and Fissure. And remember when I was talking about how cool it would be to use the Apocalypse Earth spells and make yourself an Earth Mage? Oh, wait till you see this. Alright, step 1, unlimited magicka regen. Step 2, revenge! Fly through the air, hapless scum. Alright, so the trick with this spell, if you aim at your feet, you will only get 1 rock. If you aim up parallel to the ground, you will get lots of rocks. And if you aim at your opponent, they will fly through the air like a freaking doll. Oh, I love it. Alright, let's get us some magicka. And yeah, you're going to look for flying off the battlements. There we go. Oh, geez, who hit me? Wow, that sucked. Alright, we're going to actually be tactical about this here. There. Alright, now, no one can actually get to us from here, except for this guy who's about to go for a ride. And I'm still regenerating. I am... Oh, geez. What a place to land. Ouch. So as you can see, it doesn't do a lot of damage, but just the fact that you can throw these guys around like dolls. He went like 50 feet that time. Oh, it's beautiful. I love it. And then you can still use the totem to boost your magicka generation so that this can just keep going. I don't think it goes into the air though. Oh, dude, it did! It went up the wall! Are you serious? Can I go up walls with this thing? No, didn't work that time. Maybe that was a glitch. But it would have been it's a beautiful glitch. The totem, I think, is surviving this just fine. I think the totem is alright. I'm still regenerating. The totem is buried, but not dead. This guy's almost dead. No, this guy isn't even hurt. Huh. So I guess the one complaint I might have with this is the only way to get fall damage is if they're literally on an edge and you're throwing them into the air. Like if they're flying off the edge of a mountain because you knocked them. But the 10 feet that this spell throws them for somatic effect is not giving them damage, sadly. Still, as far as crowd control spells go, That's pretty awesome. You gotta admit, that's pretty cool. I like it. Ah, so pretty. And then you can use the totem. Notice they keep attacking the totems, so the totem gives you some crowd control too, because they keep thinking like, oh, I gotta take this thing out. Oh, I just buried that guy. Oh, no, I didn't. Let me see if I can finish. Let's see if I get it right this time. Oh, man. So sometimes the NPCs will spawn like on top of it or around it, but I mean, at the least you can definitely break up their formation, make it easy to go after them one at a time. That's just fun. I like it. Alright, so that was our Fissure spell. Next we have Stave of Binding. Enchant your power attacks for a full minute. Immobilize the target with 25% chance to disarm. So we'll be using this in conjunction with our Elven Sword. And this is a buff. Oh, well, here we go. So the buff lasts 60 seconds. So we can still combine Water Totem to keep ourselves going. Oh, geez. Wow, that's a lot of firepower to be dealing with. Let me see if I can. Is this one still power attacks? Oh yeah, okay. So the catch is that this is still only your power attacks, not your regular attacks. So we're gonna have to wait for someone to come around the corner and volunteer. There we go. Oh, there we go. Can you see the chains on his right-hand side? He's immobilized. Oh, jeez. Wildcat, why have you made the game so much harder? Cool. Alright, so you actually immobilize the target in chains. And it only lasts for a few seconds, but as far as like crowd control spells go, that's kind of cool, because now I don't even have to use a spell for crowd control, and this is a buff that lasts 60 seconds. So if you were to combine this with the Apocalypse spell Onidal's Recital, Akatal's Recital, I always get the names confused. But with Akatal's Recital, you can combine these two so that you always, on a power attack, immobilize the target. Although I think, I'm trying to verify if you can lock down two people at the same time. Well, I guess if you kill them, that works too. Alright, let's see. We're going to go ahead and reload because I think we're down to... Yes, okay. We are down to the final alteration spell. And of course, we're going to save that for a fort that is full of hapless victims. It gives us Sacred Hearth. So this baby consecrates the area as your hearth. You can recast temporary recall to the hearth in spirit form, returning after 120 seconds or by activating the hearth. So the way this one works, I guess this one you don't necessarily have to use it in combat. You could use this for short-term transportation. Alright, so we're consecrating this location as a hearth. So let's go ahead and run into combat. I'm going to show you the pros and cons of this spell. This one is a little more utility based. I don't know about combat. And I'm going to show you why. If I can get this spell off without getting in trouble. Alright, so I am recalling to my hearth. That takes me back here. However, your time here is limited. You can hit A to return early. I am hurting, however, so we're going to see if I can cast this here. Yep, I'm going to drop a little water totem. That'll give me magicka and health. And I believe you're here for, is it 30 or 60 seconds? I'm not sure. Long enough, obviously, to regenerate your health. And then, you know what? Let's, with a Stave of Binding? Or, no, we're going in with Fissure. You just know we're going in with Fissure. Fissure and water totem for the win. Yeah, so you can also hit A if you're ready to go in early, and that will throw you back into your location. I'm hitting A, nothing is happening. There we go. Return to cast point. And that is short term, by the way. You're in spirit form there, but only for like 2, maybe 30 seconds to a minute. So that is by no means a get out of jail free card. It will put off jail for a little while, metaphorically speaking. But it is not something you want to risk the farm on. And off you go. And off you go. Oh, this is so fun. Alright, at this point I'm just playing. Anyway, so the Hearth spell, Sacred Hearth, you can use that to teleport from any location. I believe it only lasts for a maximum of 2 minutes. No, it just says temporarily, so I don't know if that's 2 minutes, 60 seconds, 30 seconds, whatever. But it takes you back to your hearth, and then you can interact with the stuff around your hearth. So if you had your player home, and just real quick you wanted to unload your your nice loot that you still want to disenchant, but you don't have time to go over it all just yet, I believe you can still interact with stuff from your Hearth. But as you can see, I'm here in spirit form. It's temporary, but you can still heal up and do any prep work that you need. So even if you get overwhelmed and realize, oh crap, I need to switch to my conjurations, there's no time, I'm being manhandled, you can pop this spell, get back here, switch to whichever spells best suit you, and then tell... Pardon, sorry. Lunch was really good, and apparently it decided to come around for seconds. I lost my train of thought. Anyway, fun spell. I like the idea of being able to teleport back to your player home fairly easily. And I like the cost that it's obviously meant as a short-term thing, so you're not just teleporting back to your player home at any time, because that would be a little overpowered, I think. But being able to teleport back to your Hearth in the short term, I mean, there wouldn't be time to do a lot of crafting or anything, but it's enough to heal up, switch around some spells, unload some gear if you need to. Again, I don't think your follower comes with you. I think it's just you. Alright, that brings us to the restoration spells. And as we saw before, we're going to start in Windhelm. You can get these following spells from Jorah in Windhelm, as well as Nura Snowshod in Riften. And those are the two main holds at which you can get these. You can also get these restoration spells from Bolar Narzulblur. Bolar in Narzulblur, I should say. And then Merble in Dushnik Yal. And I believe those are two orc strongholds, but I have never actually been to them, so I don't recognize them. But these are the two main holds that if you're using an alternate start mod, for example, you can start in either of these two and pick up the necessary shaman spells for your shaman playthrough. Alright, now as far as restoration goes, we're going to start off with Visions of Opportunity. Alright, so Visions of Opportunity. For 240 seconds, curses random foes within 40 feet. Reduces armor by 150 points and magic resist by 25%. So, the trick here, let's see. So this is an area of effect spell. It lasts almost 2 minutes though. So we're going to drop this in the center of the fort and then switch to our beloved water totem. So we have plenty of regen. And then this spell should be debuffing bad guys at random. So we'll just have to look for the ones that are glowing. And, I think it buffs you. Okay, random foes within 40 feet of you will be selected by this spell. And then when they are selected, they will lose armor, and that is when you start wailing on them like a frickin' bongo drum. I'm looking for randomly selected people. I'm not seeing... Oh, there we go. Aha! Your shield shall not save you, despite this being Wildcat and me not having a shield. There we go. No, there we go. Oh, come on. Yeah, you're done. Alright. So you can use these in conjunction. It randomly selects a foe within 40 feet. So if you're dealing with a single boss, obviously, it's great because it will hit exactly who you intend for it to hit. I like the limiting effect because when you're being attacked by 5 or 6 guys, you can't really control which one gets chosen, right? I mean, I don't know if it automatically picks the guy closest to you or what, but regardless, it reduces their armor and their magic resist. So whether you're going with a destruction mage playthrough or a melee single hit playthrough, either way you can make it work. And I also like that because it is a buff, you can still use it in conjunction with your totems. So I still have all that beloved healing and magicka regen that just makes everything better. Not bad for a novice level restoration spell. It's a very consistent debuff. I don't know if consistent is the right word. If it's one-on-one combat, you got consistent debuff because there's only one target. Outside of that, you're going to have to play to fate, I guess. Next, we have Spirit Fire. This is a pyre that drains 10 points of magicka and stamina per second. When both are depleted, drains health instead. So we are going to... First off, I think that can actually be used in conjunction with the... What is this? Spirit. I want to make sure I got the right one. Spirit Fire. Okay. I'm pretty sure you can use these two in conjunction. So Spirit Fire is like a bonfire, and I think, yeah, if a bad guy's on it, they lose. It drains magicka and stamina, and then if they're out of that, it drains health. I don't think it gives it to you. No, it says drains. So that should actually... Oh, wait. Do you think that would replace my water totem? Because the water totem is what's giving me health and magicka now. So does that mean if we use Spirit Fire instead... But the Spirit Fire obviously has a lower radius, and NPCs tend to move around when they're trying to kill you. But let's give this a shot. Alright, so we should be getting his stamina and his magicka until he is out, right? When he doesn't have any left, then it starts draining magicka. So this guy is obviously a fighting type. He's going to have a lot of stamina to drain. And this spell doesn't last very long. But I'm trying to get to the point where we're draining his... Oh, geez. Okay, so I don't think we were getting his health. Ooh, 2. Oh, this could work. Come on, get in the flames. Get on in this, boys. Come on. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, you like it. It's nice and warm in the fire. Give me your stamina. Give me your magicka. Oh, geez. Or you'll drain me dry. Okay. Anyway, so as you can see, the Spirit Fire is more of a... Oh, wait a second. I love that moment when you realize... Okay, we're going to try this one more time because I'm going to show you guys how I think this spell is meant to be used. And then we shall laugh gleefully together. So, the first thing we do is we pop the Spirit of Binding. You guys remember what this does? This one gives you, on power attack, the enemy is trapped in chains, right? And then you go to Spirit Fire that drains them, and then you switch to your melee. Okay, so we're going to give this a shot here. So step 1 is going to be to land a power attack. Oh, geez, that stupid shield. I'm going to have to start going after archers. There we go. Okay, so we can't move now. Ha 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 ha! You're stuck, and you're feeding me. That's right. Give me your stamina. Give me your magicka. And then when you are all out, you will give me your... Oh, geez. The immobilizing part didn't last very long. But as you can see, you can then combine like the immobilizing on power attacks with using Spirit Fire to drain. And it immediately gives you their stamina. If they run out of stamina and magicka, it'll also give you their health. But as you can see, living long enough to get to that point might be tricky, depending on your situation. Alright, so that's a fun little... I think that's how the spells were meant to be used, right? You combine the stationary drain with the spell that immobilizes them. Or the power attack, I should say, that immobilizes them. Next, we're going to do Visions of Healing. Because I'm in light armor, and I didn't bother to make this character like fully tanked out in dragon scale or anything. Alright, so Visions of Healing. For over 2 minutes, curses random foes within 40 feet. Absorb 20 points of health per second for 4 seconds. Jeez. Okay. I could get used to that. So again, this is another one. It's a random selector. But a random opponent within 40 feet of you will you'll start sucking the lives out of the children of Salem. So let's get in close on this melee guy that's always given us trouble. I don't think he'll have any issue hurting us. Let me just make sure I have the right spell selected. Okay. Alright, now we're just going to try and get a view of everyone that's attacking me. I think there should be some kind of animation that... There we go. So there's the animation. Oh yeah, and our health is... Oh yeah, we're draining. Look at that guy. So I believe it's 20 health per second for 4 seconds. But it picks someone at random, right? So technically, if you wanted to go with a slow death, where you just kind of like a cat with a mouse, just start sucking the lives out of everybody... You would just keep rocking the Visions of Healing and combine them with the Water Totem. The Water Totem keeps your health up when no one's being drained. And then when someone is being drained, you get health and they die. See, I'm already getting that guy's health. I didn't even have to lay a finger on him. So if you wanted to experiment with a pacifist build, this might be an option. Also, you'll notice that the Water Totem has a certain level of tanking. Like the AI is smart enough to go for the totem, realizing how much it's healing you, but at the same time, one lucky foe at random is going to be selected to donate about 80 points of their health. So it's funny, because I keep thinking this guy's going to get it, because he's closest to me, and I keep getting hurt, but then I keep getting healed from somebody. I don't know, some anonymous donor in the vicinity got selected. But yeah, so this is a great one. You can also connect this spell to Akataw's Recital so that whenever you're in combat, some random guy will be selected and you'll start just life draining. Yeah, so that's another option. Another thing to add to your funny shamanistic cool toolkit. Oh yeah, that poor archer is gone. Boop. The range, I guess because the range is 40 feet in any direction, you can also hit guys that are up in the battlements and stuff as long as they're within like 4 stories. That's not bad. Alright, next we're going to look at Spirit Storm. This is another restoration spell. Spirit Swarm drains 60 points of magicka and stamina per second. When both are depleted, drains health. Okay, so this is similar to Spirit Fire, it just drains for more. It will drain health after the opponent is out of stamina and magicka. Oh, is this a concentration one? Okay, I think this one is actually single target. Let's see. You've been giving me trouble. You have been chosen. Alright, so we're draining this guy. Oh, geez. We chewed through his magicka and stamina quick. What am I doing here? Oh, geez. Alright, I forgot that I had selected that spell. Alright, you, sir. Your health is mine. Thank you. Wow, that works. It drains... Alright, so when it drains their health, it looks like I'm not getting it. It just banishes their... It's like a Harm Ether spell from Asheron's Call. You're not taking their health, you're just brutally killing them. So I guess some of these spells, although they are described as drains in the mod description, aren't actually draining. And I don't think it's because of a mod that I'm using that might be somehow neutralizing the drain. I think it's just the way that the spell works is to suck out their magicka and their stamina, and then when they run out of both, you suck out their health. Which, yeah, I mean, it's obviously doing really well, and since it's concentration-based, you gotta be careful, because it'll shoot through your magicka real quick. Oh, geez, wait. Ooh, does this thing have more range than I thought? Oh, yes, it does. Oh, that is a lot more range than I thought. Look at that. Oh, it's like a life-draining fog bank. That's like a vampiric fog. No wonder you don't get the health that is drained, because you'd be immortal. Can you imagine hitting like 20 or 30 guys with that thing? Oh wait, so if you hold it down, it builds up more, and that increases its range and its potency. Right? If you just do a little bit, it just kind of gusts, and that's it. But if you hold it down and aim it, I'm going to try sweeping it and see what that does. Okay, yeah, so that gives you a bigger blast rate. That's interesting. That's like aiming a vampiric fog at your targets. Okay, well that's better than I thought, because initially I thought I was just, one guy, I have one target, woo! No, this thing hits. You can carpet bomb an entire little patrol with this spell, and they're all in for bad times. Nice, okay, that works better than I initially thought. Very nice, very nice. Alright, I think we're down to the last spell, if I am not mistaken. Yes, this next one, last but not least, is called Shield of Awe. That sounds very cool. Alright, Shield of Awe. Enemies inside the rune get 100% weakness to magic and lose 100 points of armor. Oh, okay, so 100 points of armor, that's pretty consistent with the other spells that we've seen. But a 100% weakness to magic. Whoa, hi. Okay, what are we looking at here? Okay, so this is a stationary debuff, right? Anything that gets within this circle is going to have 100% weakness to magicka. Ooh, okay, for a spellcaster, that is a godsend. I will not point out that it is stationary, so it is going to be better served in dungeons with hallways and choke points. But I mean, you got to give a hat tip to the listen to the drums. That's so awesome. I love it. Okay, so let's experiment a little bit here. We've got, what was the random one? Spirit Storm? No, Spirit Pyre. No, one of these was just randomly sucking the lives out of the children of Salem. I'm looking. Visions of Healing. Okay, so we're going to try something a little different here. We're going to try Visions of Healing. We're going to throw that down with Shield of Awe. Oh, no, Shield of Awe is two-handed. All right, so first off, we're going to have to... Alright, so if we wanted to deal with all the melee guys here without having to deal with all the archers, where would be the best place to put our little shield? First, we're going to poke our head in, get everyone's attention. Alright, here we go. Woohoo! Okay, now we're going to... Okay, so they have no magic resist. So if that's the case, then Earth Totem's seismic abilities should be one heck of a show. But it takes a few seconds. There we go! Oh, jeez. Yeah, that worked very well. Okay, so we're luring them into range. They're going to lose magic resist. So I guess all you got to do is combine that with Spirit Storm. Oh, wow. Okay, the blast radius on the Earth Totem was longer than I thought, because that actually got outside the range of this rune. Very nice. Okay. I guess we'll end with experimenting with dual casting Spirit Storm, see what happens. That. Ooh, very nice. Very nice. I love the effect of the drums. It just captures the shaman-esque kind of nature, right? Can you just picture this guy in the wild gathering or developing this spell among the spirits of nature? Ah, I love it. That's awesome. All right. Well, I think we'll wrap up. We got a nice sunset going. Usually you can get a decent end screen off of a sunset, if you're lucky. There we go. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining me in this demonstration of the Shaman Mage archetype in the Triumvirate spell mod. Feel free to like the video and subscribe to my channel if you enjoy these deep dives. Let me know in the comments below, what was your favorite Shaman spell? Also, if there's any other mods you'd like to see me do a deep dive into, feel free to let me know. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Take care.